Hi everyone, today we're going to do how to process a cut flower bouquet. So lots of times people get cut flowers at home and they're wrapped up maybe something like this, and you think, what am I going to do with them? So we will unpackage this and we are going to just do a little step-by-step of how to treat your cut flowers when you get them at home. So we've got some nice sunflowers here. I'll just pull those over to the side. I like to separate my flowers into little piles because then I know kind of what I'm working with. We've got some lovely Tiffany and some Free Spirit roses right there. Some beautiful Ulstro or Ulstrameria. Some nice Buplurum and a stem of Veronica. So we have some great things to work with. We've got some Salal and some, I think that's Cocosmia, I think it's called. I never remember that one. And most importantly, flower food. Flower food is your flower's friend. And a lot of people don't bother using it, but you know what? You really should, because it extends the life of your flowers big time. So we've got a little vase here already prepared, and generally speaking, a little package like this, you would put it into about 1 liter of water. So don't overdo it and don't underdo it, because if you overdo it, the flowers don't like it too much, and if you underdo it, they're not getting enough nutrient. So first thing I would do, again, good snips or a really good sharp knife, not your garden shears and not your kitchen scissors, okay? So I cut these, and I would just start, this is Salal, which a lot of people use because it's nice and sturdy and hardy, and it will stand up for quite a long time. And I'm just gently going around the outside of the vase, just to give it a little bit of some structure for the flowers to sit within. So you can see I've just got my Salal in there, pretty easy peasy, right? Didn't take too long. Then I've got this nice beautiful contrasting green, which is lovely, and I'm going to try to get 2 bits out of it. The other thing you don't want to do is try not to have any greenery underneath the water line, because it will start to deteriorate and all that yucky stuff goes up the stem of the flower, and it's just hard for the flower because it's not clean. So we want them to be as clean as possible.
How often should I change the water in my arrangement?
Well, I think if you can do it every couple of days, the flowers are going to last so much better, and they'll just be so much happier, because once you have dirty water, the flowers have a hard time fighting it. And that's partly why we use the flower food, because it also has a biocide in it too. So it will keep the water somewhat cleaner than if you just have plain water.
Is there an at-home alternative to flower food?
Definitely. So if you run out of the flower package, which you very well may, what you can do is dump all the water out and then even put a teaspoon of sugar in. It's going to give some energy for the flowers, and they're going to like it a lot better. So I'm going to start with some bigger flowers. There's a beautiful local Ontario grown sunflower. It's really pretty. And again, sharp cut with either a knife if you're good with your knife skills, or use your snips, okay? These in here, and I'm going to do a little grouping of flowers. You can do it however you like. It's just that I happen to like doing it this way. And I've got these nice Gerbera here, which are kind of a pretty color too. I might do those out to the side a little bit. And Gerbera, you can also notice they have like a straw on them, because Gerbera's always got a bad rap because their head's drooped over. But if you have this straw on them, it gives their head some support, and the flower just tends to last so much nicer if it's got that support. This is a stunning Free Spirit rose, which is really gorgeous, and it pulls in the colors here really nicely. And you can see in this particular bouquet, they've got quite a few different varieties of flowers, which is really nice, because then it gives you a little bit more different things to look at instead of always same. Like, nothing wrong with all the same flowers, but it's kind of nice to have a few different types of flowers. You can see how I'm just kind of building up the arrangement on that side. And this is Alstroemeria, also Ontario grown, and I like to strip off those leaves. A lot of people like to leave it like that, which is fine. I just like the cleaner look of what's going on with that.
Now, is there a place in your home that is like sort of the best place to keep flowers so that they'll last the longest?
That's a really great question, because flowers love a cool environment. So the hotter the place that you're putting them, the quicker your flowers are going to wilt. So if you have them in a nice cool area out of direct sunlight, they are going to be so much happier being in that place, and they're going to last you a lot longer too. Here's a Tiffany rose that we'll just tuck into. Another Tiffany. I'll just spin that around a bit so you can have a peek. And then we've got one Veronica, so I'm going to maybe make a little bit of a statement with that and go out to one side just to show off the flower a little bit. And we've got a beautiful locally grown Bouquet too, which is pretty. So when I'm cutting this, you could use it in that whole stem, but I want to use 2 parts of it, so I'm going to do it like this. And just take a little out to the other side here. So we'll get that in there. So now we have just kind of a nice little, from that one bouquet of cut flowers, you can see that you can make a really pretty arrangement fairly quickly. Not a whole lot of greens in there, but it's just a nice container. That's another thing too, make it easier on yourself, and perhaps have a container that's got a little bit bigger bottom and a little bit smaller top. Sometimes that's easier to design in, and it'll just be easier for you to put together, especially if you're just learning.
I heard too that flowers don't like being near fruit and vegetables. Is that true?
That is totally true. Good question. Because fruits and vegetables give off ethylene gas, and flowers do not like that. So if you have your flowers, you say, oh, I'm going to put them in the fridge, and your crisper is full of apples and bananas and everything, they are going to give off ethylene gas, even though you think you're doing something great because they're in the fridge. The ethylene gas is just going to slowly deteriorate the flowers, and they'll be a lot happier if they're not around fruits and vegetables. So hopefully that gives you a few tips. So remember, use your flower food, sharp knife, or a good pair of sharp snips, and have fun and play with your flowers and your arrangements. Change out the water regularly, put some more flower food in or put some sugar in, and enjoy fresh, beautiful flowers. Oh, sorry. That's a blooper.
Can we please